Welcome to the topic series. Today we're discussing all different types of headgear that are manufactured by Paulson Manufacturing. Headgear are units that are made to mount a face shield onto your head. We make many different styles out of different materials and for different applications. In fact, you really need to think about the application before you can even discuss the headgear, because the headgear are designed for that particular application. I'd like to start off by describing model HG1S. HG1 stands for headgear number 1, -S stands for standard duty. This is a pinlock style. In the pinlock style, you have to push the pin out of its hole, slide the strap into a new position, and then reset the pin by pushing it back through. On the crown strap, or this portion here, it has the same style of adjustment. This is a very lightweight unit. It's used typically where you have to have the window close to your face. You want to have the lightest weight possible and also the least expensive possible. This is only available to fit shields that are in the smaller size, like our model IM1, because of this distance here of a maximum of 13 inches on the width of the face shield. This also has a very small spark guard. This portion is also called a crown. If I was to measure this, we would see that this crown adjustment, or crown, is only 2 inches. That's an advantage and a disadvantage. And the advantage is that it's small, lightweight, and close to the face. And the disadvantage is if you have high heat, sparks, or slag that's being thrown at you, this would not give you the protection for your head that you'd be looking for. Moving to the HG3, the HG3 uses the same style of pinlock headband. It includes a foam sweatband for comfort against your forehead, but it has a larger spark guard. This larger spark guard, if we were to measure this distance, you'd see that it's 3 inches. This gives you additional protection and allows for a larger size face shield to be put onto it. This can take a face shield that is typically 15.5 inches wide or as much as 20 inches wide. It still has only a pinlock adjustment on the back, but it yet still has these nice pivot adjustments here on the sides. Moving on to the next model, and the most popular model in our product line, is the HG4S. This has the 3-inch spark guard, the universal attachment across the front, accepting shields 15.5 inches wide is normal, or as much as 20 inches wide. It includes a padded brow pad here that's replaceable, and it has a ratchet attachment on the back, which is easily adjustable by just turning the screw to adjust to your particular head size. It's a situation of that when the worker is going throughout the day, your head will feel that you need to have a different tension, or you might be bending over, or other times you're in a more relaxed position. So you want to be able to adjust this one click or two in either direction depending on the time of day as you're working. Again, this is our most popular model. Moving on to the HG4H. The HG4H has all of the same dimensions as the HG4S. However, it's a different set of materials. This is all manufactured from nylon, and the nylon material can hold up not only to very high temperatures, but is also good in very cold temperatures or cryogenic work. Same 3 inches on the spark guard here in the front, same brow pad, which is replaceable on the inside, and same ratchet adjustment on the back. The one thing that I didn't mention was that all of these headgear have an adjustable strap here on the top. This adjusts so how high the headgear unit fits on your head in this dimension. Most people find that if they pick a point right here and have that to be right above their ear, that that's the most stable position on their head. The next model I'd like to describe are the features and benefits on the HG4M. This is used in many medical applications. The HG4M has the adjustable crown strap, has the adjustable ratchet in the back, a replaceable sweatband for the interior. It has the cam locks across the front for mounting face shields, 3 inches dimension across on the front of the spark guard. The pivots, fully adjustable, and they will not loosen regardless of how many times that you've moved the face shield up and down. And as it's obvious, the whole unit is made in white for that particular customer base. But this is white nylon. It's designed for very long-term use in medical applications and for many wipe downs of this material relative to cleaning it for those types of applications. This next model is the HG5-H. So this model is, again, all made from nylon, but it also includes a nylon chin protector. So as you're wearing this unit, you have protection from splash that's coming up or particles that are coming up from the bottom. This is shown with the IM12 L6F face shield. This is only for illustration purposes because the window is sold separately from this headgear. Now I'm showing you the model HG5-C. The HG5C has all the features of the HG4H and the HG5H in the sense of that it has a nylon headband suspension, padded brow guard, ratchet adjustment, crown strap adjustment by pin lock, adjustable pivots, universal fit cam lock across the front, but it also adds in the chin protector, and both the upper and the lower portions are transparent. This type of transparency is really more of a translucency. As you can see with my fingers, you can see that they're there, but you can't see through this thoroughly. But this opens it up on the inside so that you don't feel claustrophobic, and you can see movement through this, so it makes a person more aware of their surroundings. The next model that we're going to describe is the model HG7-H. The HG7 has all the features of the previous HG4 series, HG5 series, except it adds this much larger spark guard. If I was to measure this spark guard, you would see that it's 6.5 inches from front to back. This is our model that has the greatest amount of protection to your forehead from sparks, flying debris, and falling items. This keeps the same pivot type of assembly here where you have the adjustments on the side, and it has a padded sweatband on the interior. The universal hole pattern on this model requires that you use face shields that have a cutout like this to come underneath this pivot assembly right here. Or if you're using a smaller face shield like the IM9, it does not have an issue because of the clearance. I'd like to describe both the removal of the sweatband and also the cleaning of the entire unit. First, to remove the sweatband, you'll notice that it has a flap over design. So you can just simply unwrap it off of the unit. This sweatband can be washed like a dish, mild soap and water, leave it open and let it dry, and you can reassemble it to the unit. The entire unit, in fact, can be washed in the same fashion. You don't need to take it apart at the pivots, and you don't need to take the ratchet assembly apart. But if you wash it under running water, soft with a detergent, soap and water, pat it dry, let it sit to get all of the moisture out of the corners and edges, that's all you need to do. For putting the sweatband back on is orient it to the interior and wrap the front section to the inside and then this upper section over the top. This has been formed in a way that it will lock into place just by wrapping it around in this fashion. I'm going to describe how to disassemble and then reassemble the pivot assembly on the HG4S. Hold the HG4S and unscrew the large pivot knob. I only need to show you on one side because both sides are the same. There's the pivot knob. This is the friction washer. There's two sides to it. One side has a rubber O-ring on it, and the other side is just plastic. The spark guard comes off, and now the nut comes out of the interior. These are all of the components that are involved with this. You may need to take these apart at some point if you really wanted to do a thorough cleaning, or if the unit needed to be disassembled for some other reason. Now we're going to take the pivot nut. We put it to the inside on the headgear. We put the spark guard over the top on the square hole. We lay the friction washer over the top, and then we put the pivot through this and thread it into place. It tightens up until it's snug, and now it's ready for use.